Welcome back, folks, to FlashPoint Weekend Update. So it has been a few slow weeks because of the grand finals, as well as the release of patch 9.19 and the beta season for the ranked battle mode. So I'm guessing everybody's preoccupied and there are not that much news happening in the background. So nothing to really cover. Oh well. But we should be expecting some sort of leakage or coverage of patch 9.20's Super Test server happening next week or the week after that. So this patch is a mystery and nobody knows what's the main feature of this patch, but the HD remodeled maps were hinted during the grand finals. The maps for the many frontline modes are currently being reworked, so we could see frontline being the main feature of patch 9.20, and this will be huge. This would be the summer's blockbuster, but there are a lot of work that needs to be done, like the balancing of the XP/credit making of this mode, as well as the tier 8 through 10 that will be featured since we played them on the sandbox server. So I don't know, but I'm doubtful, but if there's going to be frontline for 9.20, it's going to be a big patch. Also, there were rumors of the IS-6, the KV-5, the Object 140, and the T92A going to be buffed in this upcoming patch. So, as expected, there should be tweaks for those older premium tier 8s that have been power crept by the recent release of OPS vehicles. But why the Object 140? Why the T92A? You don't need a buff for those OPS Russian mediums at tier 10. Those are great. What are you going to buff? Like the view range? The horsepower per ton ratio with better engines? The better DPM? Oh. So, yeah, this patch is a mystery. I guess we have to wait a few weeks to find out, but it's going to be nice to see the frontline mode being worked on. So, oh well. Now currently on the North American server, the T92 Light Tank has made a cameo or Easter egg appearance on the on-track to the T92 howitzer mortar carriage. So I don't know if it's being done on purpose or by accident from the video production crew, but this tier 7 American Light Tank, premium also, is going to be super good if it's going to be released based on stats 8 months ago that I covered 8 months ago. So currently we have +2, -2 matchmaking for light tanks, but before the switch, the stats were good for older tier 7, like the original tier 7 with the -1 +3 matchmaking meta. But now it has better matchmaking with older stats. This is going to be great light tank, so I highly doubt this vehicle will make it to the premium shop, but who knows? I mean, based on the recent trend, we could see OPS vehicles, so I don't know. But the SU-100Y, the Dicker Max, the combination of the Panzerkampfwagen T25/Matilda 4 are being rewarded for tank rewards of this month. So I do recommend you do tank rewards for this month because we rarely see tier 6 premium tanks being offered. Usually it's premium tier 5. So if you already have a SU-100Y or Dicker Max, you'll get 3,250 gold. So that's a lot. Yeah, do this month's tank rewards. I think the Dicker Max is 3,200, not 3,250, but it's still pretty much a lot of gold. And the combination of the Panzerkampfwagen T25 and the Matilda 4 is 1,500 gold a piece, so that's 3,000 total. But if you already have the SU-100Y, that's 3,250 gold added as compensation, so nice. There's a new premium tank on the Super Test server. It's the Credний tank Gremyakina. So basically Gremyakin's medium tank, developed from the basis of the K91 and the Object 416. In layman's term, it's a frying pan version number 2, like the Object 430 version number 2, but this vehicle is not as OP in terms of armor. So only 110 millimeters on the turret front and 100 for the hull front. So it's not like the Object 430's turret, which is pretty strong, and the cupola is also pretty strong now with the HD remodel and the balance. So this vehicle will be pinned like the Object 416. It has 122 millimeter, only reloads 14 seconds compared to the 100 millimeter, which reloads like what, 5 seconds or 6 for the Object 416. But the DPM on this vehicle is bad, 1,750. So that's really below average. The average is around 2,000. So it's a high alpha gun. Penetration is 212 millimeter, and that's pretty good considering the average is around 190 or so, or 200, 195 ish. So that's a pretty good penetration. High alpha 390, but slow reload, good accuracy for a Russian gun, 0.33, 0.32 or 31 for 100% crew, and 2.1 seconds of aim time for 100% crew. So that's very good for a Russian gun. It's a sniping Russian gun. But the DPM is poopy, so oh well. Traverse is decent for the hull, pretty good for the turret. View range is 370. It's not bad, it's not good, but it's better than average Russian heavy tanks, which is 350. So 370 is like 20 more, I guess, but the T44 has 380. The American tanks have 400. So it's kind of blind, but not that much. Health is 1,350. It's alright. So basically, this is a sniping Sherman Revalorizé with camo and accuracy, but it's a Russian tank. I mean, the gun, I would say the gun's a little bit better than the T44's 100mm, just because the penetration and the accuracy and aim time. I mean, knowing Wargaming recently, they would probably buff the turret armor to like 200mm and sell it as a premium tier 8 and buff the DPM to like 2000, and holy crap, it's a lot better than the T44 or the T44 100 or the T54 prototype. Ugh. How many premium Russian mediums are there? Holy crap. Just like one female crew for one Russian medium tank, and you can train all of them. All Russian premiums can train your female crew to like obscene levels. But so the community question for this week is, which do you consider as a tank-focused nation throughout history? So basically, I consider Russian tanks or Russian nation as the tank master, because usually when you play RTS like Red Alert, Russians are tank-based, Americans are aircraft-based, yada yada stuff. So which nation do you consider is the master of all tank development? So usually it's the Russians, but we see a lot of Russian tanks, so that's probably why. I don't know. I mean, there are other developers. The Germans are pretty good too, but the German vehicles are overly complex, and that's why they lost. One of the reasons they lost World War II, so put a comment below and let me know. But as always, I'll do a new feature for FlashPoint, but leave your questions and comments below, and I'll try to answer them, similar to the Monday's video, like the temporary comment/question dump video. So leave your questions below, and I'll try to answer them on the next episode of FlashPoint. So I'll answer Monday's videos questions. So Quinn Killen asked, how do you feel about the Batchat 12T in particular? Well, it has a better horsepower per ton ratio than the original AMX 1390. I think it's like 33 or something, but originally the AMX 1390 at tier 8 has slightly below 20 horsepower per ton ratio, and the accuracy is god awful. So the penetration is one thing. It's about 170 with 4-round clip and 170 alpha, I believe. So about 600 damage burst per clip, reloads 20 seconds. Not bad. I mean, it's not as good as the T69 in terms of alpha burst, but it has the camo, it has the speed, and the view range is like 380, so it's pretty decent. I sold mine after I got the free version, since I already have the AMX 1390, because I don't want to play another tier 8 light tank anymore. I already have the AMX 1390, I want to grind to the AMX 13105, so it should be a good tank. How do you think the H35 is better than the Panzerkampfwagen 38H as a seal clubbing tank? Well, I don't play a lot of tier 2 or tier 3. Usually if I play low tiers, I play the Panzer 1C. They nerfed the crap out of the T18 and switched it with the T3 howitzer motor carriage. So, the T18 was an ultimate seal clubbing tank. Was it a 75mm howitzer, or I think it was a 75, or it's not 105, is it? I doubt it. That would be insane. But yeah, for tier 2 seal clubbing, it was the T18 or the R35, the tier 2 French light with 45mm of armor all the way around, whereas the H35 has like 45 at the front, 40 at the sides, and like 25 at the rear. So I don't know, but you just have to camp and basically you'll squash anybody at tier 2, because a lot of newbies just likes to run around with their tanks. If you camp in the back with camo nets and binoculars, you'll snipe them off easily. They cannot even see you because of the view range. Ugh. What's the most underrated forgotten tanks in World of Tanks, like the Churchill gun carrier? Oh, well, most underrated, I think, Chinese medium tanks from tier 5 to tier 8. I mean, nobody plays all of them, like the Type T34, the Type 58, the T34-1, T34-2, especially the tier 8. So I do wish there's a buff for those vehicles, but it's decent if you know how to run away fast enough and don't use your hull armor. But yeah, they do seem to be a little bit lacking, so most underrated. Alright, I mean, I haven't played the Foch series, the French tank destroyers, so I cannot tell you, but those need a rework as well. They are out V39, ugh, the bathtub at tier 5. I mean, the lorries are not bad, I guess. And the Foch is okay, but the Foch 155, the autoloading 155mm does need a rework, so it's not that great. So, what's the most forgotten tank in World of Tanks? I say the FV4005, because that thing sucks ass. You don't play that tank, it plays you. It's like playing a KV2, but worse. You have no camo. The turret is basically like the Waffentrigger off E100, and with the original Waffentrigger off E100, you can clip burst in town, like pop out of nowhere. 5 rounds of 128, or originally it was like 6 rounds. That's like 3000 alpha burst. But now it's with the FE4005, you get spotted a mile away. The Hesh, you have to use the Hesh, but just play the FE215B1A3. No, well, so yeah, some of the British vehicles need a work. Some of the French, like the heavies, like the middle tier heavies, ugh, they are around 44. The BDR, ugh. So, relics of the past. So basically, for Rod, maybe talk about good line to grind, because good tanks for Clan Wars or Stronghold. So the best noob-friendly line in World of Tanks is the KV1 to the IS to the IS3 to the IS7. Originally, it's still pretty good, but they nerfed the crap out of the IS7 and buffed the T10, the IS8. So KV1 is just god tier, but they nerfed it, but still pretty good. KV1S, when it was tier 6, god tier, they nerfed the crap out of that. But KV85 is alright, it's average. IS, if you know how to play that vehicle, it's basically a medium tank. If it's low tier, it's pretty awesome. If it's top tier, so IS3, no question about it. T10 or IS8 got buffed, so it's pretty good now. IS7 was originally the king, but they nerfed the crap out of it, but it's still decent if you know how to play hull down with that vehicle. So what's another good tank line to grind? I use the IS, or I use the KV line to go into the KV13, into the T54s and Object 140. So that's how I got to the Russian mediums. I love the Centurion line because sniping in the back. I kept the Crusader all the way to the Action X Centurion. I like the American heavy line from the tier 7 to tier 10. So T29, OP, T32 is okay. M103 is pretty decent after the HD remodel buff. And T110 E5 before the nerf was amazing. Now it's decent. So, And artillery. Often nature map, okay. Artillery gameplay is you have to depend on your teammates a lot more. So if they're all tomatoes, you're not going to have a good time, especially with the lower alpha and lower module damage, because you just get bum rushed. A good team will bum rush and zerg rush all your other teammates, making artillery useless. So I guess we have to deal with it because everybody complained, and now they're complaining about the stun. So Arty is a tough issue, really tough issue, but I already told you the easy way to solve it is the incoming shell announcement or warning, like Armor Warfare. But speaking about Armor Warfare, so I haven't tried it yet. It's a big patch. It takes like 10 gigabytes of download, so haven't downloaded, was really busy, but I'll check it out. I've grinded towards the T14 Armada, already have that. I love the Challenger 1, the Terminators. They nerfed the crap out of the penetration for the autocannons, basically meaning Terminators, the BDM, BDR, BMP series, all are just meh. BDM, no, BMD, can't even talk. So autocannons are, I usually loved autocannons, and I don't know about their balancing issue because they constantly tweak autocannons, rockets, the missiles, and some of the alpha. They nerfed the crap out of the alpha for the T14. Originally with the experimental propellant, the tier 3 better alpha equipment, you can get to 1000 alpha for the T14 Armada, but they nerfed the crap out of it. Sons of bitches. Don't like it. So problems with the gold spam and your opinion how to solve it. Well, gold shell has been in the game for a long time. When I started, you can only buy gold shell for gold, and that's why it's called gold shells, but thankfully they added credit selection to that, so you can buy gold shells with credits. But the easiest way of solving gold shell, there are two ways. One way is directly, basically tweaking the gold shell, but if you tweak a lot of the gold shell, you cannot penetrate type 5s or mouses, so it's a lose-lose situation. So you have to, in my opinion, buff high explosive shells. So if you buff like the high explosives alpha by twice or 3 times its current values, then people will use high explosive rather than gold shells to deal damage, and making the switch from gold to high explosive more convenient. I mean, more simple, I guess, so you don't have to rely on gold shell and just use high explosive. But then people will complain, why doesn't artillery get more alpha for the high explosive shells and blah 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 blah. So sticky issue. But the second way of fixing gold shells, I guess, is introduce heat grids. So body kits, personalization, customization, add heat grids or space armor to all turrets and the hulls of vehicles. Basically a set like position for the heat grid, and this will make opponents having to aim their high explosive anti-tank shell. So basically if you aim a side skirt or a applique plate on a vehicle, if it's spaced out, your high explosive anti-tank does nothing. So basically negating half of all the gold rounds. Now for APCR, it's currently 2 degrees of normalization, so if you buff normal AP shells to 7 degrees normalization, then a lot more players will use AP shell than APCR. But you basically buff all the guns in the game, so making type 5s and mouses less effective. So it's a sticky problem. No hard, easy solutions. So it's all hard solutions. So it's, yeah, hard to deal with it. But I do want to see body kits. I do want to see applicant armor that you could put onto your vehicles by XP unlocking them from the tech tree and buying them from, I don't know, credits or bonds. Who knows? Also boosting. So mountain goating into a mountain. And is that fair? Well, you know, when I started playing World of Tanks, this was never on my mind. How do you get up there and how do you counter that? Well, the simplest way is not fight them and just capture their base. I mean, as long as the mountain is not on their base, you can just do that. If it is, ooh, you need artillery, but they nerfed the crap out of artillery. So hopefully with the HD remodels of the map, no more mountain goating, but stupid issue. I mean, I want to see a buff in high explosive. So like when you're shooting at STRV 103 on a mountain, and he's mountain goating, shooting downwards, and you cannot penetrate his sloped armor, just high explosive the crap out of him. That would be great, but the high explosive shells does nothing in this game if you don't shoot at gun supports or gun encasements or pseudo turrets of Waffenträgers. So yeah, mountain goating, hopefully they fix that with the HD remodel. But as for gold shell, body kits, that's what I want. But I don't know what Wargaming is going to do, but the simplest way of fixing gold shell currently is camp. Try snipe. Don't deal with them. Don't play heavily armored vehicles like the Type 5 or Type 4. Just, how can you shoot me if you don't see me, right? So that's why medium tanks could kite heavily armored vehicles like the Mouse if they have enough view range and space to kite around. But gold shell, fun problem. Ugh. So what are your thoughts about patch 9.19? Well, other than advanced equipments, I do like the ranked battle mode. I mean, they bring out a new meta, I guess, but it's a blob of lemmings. So, oh god. But as for advanced equipment, you already know, I don't like them. I only want like cosmetic options, make your personal tank. So it's the same concept why a lot of players like Injustice 2 than Mortal Kombat X, because they have the customization of their equipments, making the characters look different. So if you can combine the different aspects of different toolkits in Mortal Kombat X with different personalization of the cosmetics, like in Injustice 2, you will have amazing game that everybody will play. Basically Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 1. So Modern Warfare 2 is a lot more customizable, personalization, and I love that game. So if Wargaming just copied that from a game that came out like 10 years ago, that would be great, but no. What are your thoughts about current personal missions and how the matchmaking affects them? It sucks ass. So hopefully they fix the personal missions, because you cannot finish stuff like the medium tank number 15. It's pretty hard to finish light tank stuff to like spot 3 artilleries when there are no artilleries. Or do like artillery missions. The artillery 15 mission is also a pain in the asshole. So, oh god, it's annoying as all hell. So I want to have a revamp of personal missions for the new meta, or new fixing of the tiers and other stuff for the light tanks and the artillery. And I want to see a new set of personal missions for new premium tanks, so it doesn't get stale. It's been like 2 years since the initial introduction of personal missions. So, alright. Do you feel artillery was buffed or nerfed? Artillery again, huh? It's nerfed. Obviously, it's nerfed. It's more annoying, but you don't feel the annoyance. I mean, you just constantly stun people. Yeah, sure. If your teammates don't follow up, it's not fun. If your teammates follow up on the assist damage, that's great. But I still miss the montage of instantly killing a tier 10 medium with my artillery. The GW Tiger tier 9 just like instantly killed them because of the penetration of the high explosive shell and they're camping. So thank you Wargaming for turning the game into a heavy tank shitfest with corridor maps and fucking no artillery, reduced artillery pen. So it's a nerf obviously, but that's what people wanted. So alright, will there be a Romanian tech tree in World of Tanks? It's likely we're going to get Hungarian, Italian, or the Polish for this year. If not, then we're getting the Chinese tank destroyers or something, I don't know. But Romanian tech tree, I don't know what they're going to do about the European Union tech tree thing. So it's a wash, who knows? It's a mystery, I don't know. But it could be, there could be, but there's so many nations. And yeah, people doesn't like new nations because you have to retrain their crew and new crews and other stuff. It breaks the tank inspector and tanks.gg and ugh. So who knows. Alright, are you going to Tank Fest this year? So it's in Britain? Probably not. I would consider going towards Cleveland, Ohio this month for the exhibit from the factory, tank factory or something. You should be receiving an email talking about that. But I'll probably go towards the whatever tour for Wargaming North America in Ohio because I live in Ohio. So yeah, that's the public events. I need to lose weight. Damn it. What you guys think the political polarization going on right now? People seem to be getting more extreme on both sides. They're always like that. It's just Donald Trump or anybody else give them a reason to. They've always been like that, always have been like that. I live in Ohio. I live right next to rednecks. I'm a redneck myself, but yeah, it's a deep red, or currently it's a red state. So just be a normal person. I mean, just be normal, be fair, be courteous, don't be a dick. That's all you have to do. Don't talk politics, I won't. So that's all I have to say about that. What do you think about the crossout? It's open beta and you can build. Oh, I saw crossout. It's basically build your own tank or a vehicle like Mad Maxian. So shiny, so chrome. And I do want to see that, but I'll probably download the beta and test out myself. So what's a bigger problem for me is the content appeal and all the other YouTube copyright stuff. So will Crossout's developer team give access to posting videos about him? Because usually it's a toss-up. So companies like Nintendo just hound you down for posting videos about them. So some companies are very lenient and just gives you whatever you want to do, like Wargaming originally, recently with the fiasco, but you know what I mean. So some other companies like Nintendo would just basically, no, you won't do that, or Konami, no. Japanese developers in general, but alright. And to finish up this video, does Lightning McQueen get car insurance or life insurance? Life insurance, because cars don't drive cars. There's no carception. Okay? There's no humans in that movie. Well, technically, there's no humans in that movie. So technically, there's no cars, quote unquote, unless they classify themselves as cars. But then again, it would be just life insurance or the same stuff. Who the hell watches Cars? It's a stupid ass movie, stupid ass Disney movie. It's not even good. Oh, I need to race. Drifto. Oh, it does make some good memes. Drifto. So if you want to have a good family movie, if you have kids or if you're in the mood for a good animated movie about subjects like in car, I would recommend How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2, especially number 2, because that thing tackles a very key issue, which is basically death. So they don't care killing off characters, and that's like Game of Thronesian. So in like Disney movies, they have plot armor. Nobody dies. There's no significant downsides or repercussions to your decision making. So stupid Disney. I mean, the last Disney film I liked is Up, and maybe Finding Dory. The ending of Finding Dory is good, but the sea otter part is just stupid. With the highway and other stuff, it's just bullshit, you know, Disney nonsense. So whatever. So there you go, folks. Flashpoint for this week. It's mostly me talking and rambling, answering your guys' questions. So that's fun time. But thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.